Welcome to Kryton Live on Fuse Logic TV. My name is Michael Kryton, and I'm very excited about this episode. It was months in the making. Matter of fact, almost a year in the making when you think about it. Last year at the Edmonton Fringe Festival, that would be 2010, I was captivated by a young man who was playing a cello at the Edmonton Fringe Festival. He's a German fellow from Berlin, and he had an array of pedals below him, and he was playing this beautiful old cello, which is called Umbra, 140-year-old, wonderful musical lady. And he did the most incredible performances of classics, jazz, you name it. And what it is essentially, his name is Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff, and I've been practicing that name for a couple of days now. It's his music entity is called Cellolitis. And basically, it's Nikolaus and Umbra, his cello. And what he does is his performance involves looping samplers, which he creates live. So he will play a loop, and then he will play with it, and then he will layer it and layer it. But not only does he play amazingly, I mean, to me, it's genius. But it's also, he can make his instrument talk. The other thing about Nikolaus, and he will be joining us from Berlin via Skype, is that he is an incredible humorist, a great writer. He sings, he writes poetry, and he performs that with his cello. And we're going to see a lot of that. And for the first time, I don't know, perhaps on the internet, but certainly it's history-making for Fuse Logic TV. Nikolaus and I are going to jam live via Skype. We're going to have to work through some of the technical challenges with Skype, but we're going to do it anyway just because we're artists and we love to take chances. Now, a couple of the albums that he's put out, a few albums and singles. In 2010, Preußischer Durchschnitt is an album that he put out, and we'll explain what that means later. Raw Cut in 2010, and in Himmelblau, which is translated as Blue Sky, and we're going to hear something from that album as well. He's put out two singles, Ave Maria, and Pachelbel's Canon in D, which he does wonderfully well. And by way of introduction, it's kind of nice because it is where I met him at the Edmonton Fringe. This first video that we're going to see, and by way of introduction to Nikolaus, this is a video called Opening Night at the Varscona 2009. This is a very popular piece of his, and please enjoy it. This is Psychedelic Waltz.
It's my first show in North America, so I'm glad and happy. Thank you very much. I made one piece. I'm also a cellist, a musician, but I'm also kind of clown sometimes, so I don't know where to go with my foolishness. And so I invented songs which are not really like songs or pieces. And one thing is about a relationship. And Umbra and me, we have a relationship. She's about 100 years older than me, but she's still in a good shape. 94, 84, and 113, that's for experts. Solve the barrier. I don't know if you like. I would like to show you the psychedelic waltz about man and woman.
absolutely the most brilliant performance, I think, at the Edmonton Fringe Festival in 2010. And I was pleased to meet you, and I bought one of your CDs, I remember, when we first met. Welcome to the program, Nikolaus.
Welcome. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Listen, I guess, are you going to be coming back to the Fringe for 2011?
It looks like 95% already. We just hope that the airlines will let the price for the tickets a little bit fall down.
Well, we can only hope so, and I understand it may be that you may not be able to bring Umbra with you, which have you told her that?
Right. That's already clear, yeah. I didn't talk to her right now about that. So.
All right, well, just keep her away from the television, and, that should be okay. Listen, tell me a little bit about your background musically. What is your training, and how long have you been playing?
I started in classical music being trained when I was 6 years old, so now I'm 36. This year I'm 30 years playing the violoncello. And my parents wanted us to be classical musicians, and we went the way a little bit, me and my sisters. And my sisters are a violinist and a piano player, so we fulfilled the dreams of our father. And I broke out one day from classical music and started my own music.
Well, it's interesting. You and I shared the similar background. I studied at the Royal Conservatory of Toronto, and originally it was piano. I started when I was 6, same age as you. And then I picked up a guitar when I was 10 and self-taught. And it was funny because when I broke away from classical music when I was a teenager, my father was heartbroken, and yet music has been a part of my life all that time. When did you start developing the kinds of things that you were doing now musically?
It's difficult to say. I think the first step was that I already with 12 or 10 started to play my own melodies. Or let's say from the beginning on, I had my own melodies when I played the flute or even before the cello. And when I got 16, I had a great cello teacher. Her name is Claudia Schwarze. She was trained by really good cellists like Jacqueline Dupré. She was a pupil of this woman and David Geringas. So was Popovich pupils. And and she told me go with your flow, go with your melodies, go follow your improv. And she sent me to a jazz guy in Bremen, to another free cellist in Hamburg, Uwe Schade, and I took some lessons, and I got more and more into. I want to express my own thing with my own music. Yeah.
Now, when did you kind of make the connection with sampling? Was it something that was by accident, or how did you make that connection with sampling and developing that part of your performance?
On the birthday of a very good friend of mine, there was another musician, a trip hopper, so really I would say a really hard musician. They do very loud and hard crossover, hard hip hop, and he told me in one night what I need to go on stage. And after this, I was kind of, okay, this man is right, and I have to get a loop station. So that's how I came to the loop station.
It's quite a challenge. I mean, the layers and layers, and we're going to be watching a few pieces that will reveal that. The layers that you develop are marvelous, and of course you give yourself the greatest possible scope. The thing that very much impressed me was the quality of the sound playing live in open air. Did you find that was quite a challenge? Did it take quite a while to develop it so that it would play well in public outdoor?
Yeah, there is an evolution in these things, I think, and it's like car driving. So you have to handle the machine somehow, and it's getting better and better how often you make it. And when I got that, I was like half a year playing hours, and so it changed by itself.
All right, I think we should take another look. By the way, if anybody's wondering why for this particular episode I'm wearing the big cans, it's because, well, first of all, we're celebrating, it's a music day, and in fact, the day of this broadcast, Google has on its home page, for those of you that are watching, has a guitar mechanism or a stringed instrument that you can actually play, in fact, using your keyboard if you want. And by the way, if you are live with us now, I encourage you to go down to the chat room and take a look at, or enter a username. You don't need a password, and you can become part of the show and ask questions of Nikolaus and myself about his career, and we'll be talking about some of the upcoming performances that he has, and we'll delve more into his history as well. I'd like to continue. We're going to take a look now at a piece, again, another brilliant performance. This is also from Fringe Festival 2010. This is Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff Cellolitis and Umbra, and this is called Tornado Walk. Wow. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly where you were when I met you, Nikolaus. And I remember I was with my youngest children, Caleb and Hope, and we heard you. And I think it might have been that piece we actually, I don't know, I might have been standing in the crowd watching that particular video while it was being made. And it was absolutely mind-boggling. Now, you know what? How come you're not playing for the Berlin Symphony? I mean, it's interesting given the level of genius of your skill. I'm surprised that somehow that wouldn't happen. Is that something you would ever, have you ever done that? Would you consider doing that, or?
No, I definitely cannot sit in an orchestra. It's, for me, I need space and I need my own playing. I cannot follow the rules of how to set the bow or something by 60 other people. That is not possible for me. I never liked playing in a big orchestra. It's kind of fun sometimes for yourself. But it's a job. It's really one of the toughest job in music, I think.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I'm glad that you've decided to do what you're doing. I mean, you have a growing fan base, and as a matter of fact, if we want to take a quick look at your website, which is cellolitis.de, and it's spelled CELLO for cello and LITIS, and on that website you can access information about Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff, who's my guest, along with his wonderful cello lady, Umbra. You can see the tour. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up. Albums, gallery of photos. As a matter of fact, if we take a look at a couple of photos right now, some great shots. Some great shots of you taken. I think this is probably. Is this in your apartment?
I think it's in a bar near our. Okay. Oh, no, this is my apartment, right? This was my apartment. This is in the bar.
Yeah, and then. Here you
and there's
are.
the Berlin Bear. You see the Berlin Bear behind me?
Ah, there you go. And I mean, you look very serious here. Of course, I love your humor, and the way you engage your audiences is phenomenal, as we saw in the first clip. But I mean, the depth of your performance overall, and the scope of your performances are quite amazing. Are you gaining momentum? Because I know you've performed pretty well just about in many places in the world. Where have you been?
Yeah, I've been mostly in, I came to Canada with Rapid Fire Theatre. They brought me to Canada. And from there, and they also took me to Australia. They also took me to New Zealand. In Australia, I had a great gig in the Vanguard in Sydney, which was one of my greatest experiences, to be at the end of the world and to get a gig there. And I'm traveling mainly. I started traveling a lot in Europe. Like I was a lot in Slovenia. I played in Slovakia. I played in Austria, in Switzerland, in Germany, of course. And then it's, I think, Canada. And last year I was 2.5 months in the US, but that was for theater score. I just had one gig there. So yeah, quite a few countries. But I want to travel more.
Well, I can imagine, and I would suggest that just about anywhere you go. Certainly, once people have seen you, it's kind of I mean, it's very addictive. Your performances are compelling, but I do like the way you engage your audiences as well. You're quite a funny man, which I appreciate, and you have a couple of videos. If you for those of you watching, if you go to YouTube and Google Cellolitis or Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff, you'll see a series of videos, and I've watched every one of them, and we are going to be seeing today a video that has just been produced, and that'll be later on in the show. It's going to be debuting right here on Fuse Logic TV, and you and I are going to attempt to do one of two jams live via Skype, which don't know if it's been done before, but we're going to give it a whirl. And we're going to do that when we come back. We're going to now tell me a little bit about Four Blue Horses.
Four Blue Horses, that's a film company from Berlin. And they made this video in a very good club called SO36. SO36. That's a club in Berlin, and we had we did a benefits concert there. And Four Blue Horses was just Tobias Rahm is one of the guys from Four Blue Horses, an independent film. Like Highwire Films in Canada, just an independent film group, and they recorded that on that evening.
Well, the videos are excellent. The production values are wonderful, and you're a very compelling performer to watch. Now, if I'm pronouncing this title right, Live auf Zeichnung? Is that right?
Sorry, man. Once again?
Live auf Zeichnung.
Live Aufzeichnung. Yeah, right. That means live.
All right. This is
live recorded.
All right, this is live recorded 2008 and produced by Four Blue Horses. That would be correct?
Right.
All right, let's take a look.
Das nächste Stück ist eine Ballade über den sozialen Verfall in Europa. Das heißt Bagabasta.
What is the name of that piece?
It's called 2017, and it's a soundtrack for Europe.
That is an amazing, 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 amazing piece. I was playing to it while you were... I was going to say maybe you should play it again and we'll just jam that way, but we'd be playing the same thing again. But we're gonna.
I would go for that.
Well, you know, before we do our first jam, and what I'm going to do is we're going to talk through it because just so the folks that are watching understand is that we're going to be probably experiencing some issues of hearing and breaking up with Skype, which is unfortunate. Thank goodness Microsoft bought the company.
Changes.
And what's that?
I've done some changes, so we'll see.
Oh, well, maybe not. I mean, Evan, the brilliant technical producer who somehow manages to always pull it rabbits out of his you-know-what. And, where, you know, tell me about Umbra. Where did you find Umbra?
Oh, she was music instrument market is like car market or something. So it was like a businessman, and we met, and he gave me 2 or 3 shitty celli, and then he came with Umbra, and so it was like, yes, I want this one.
Well, I imagine, of course, in Europe, I mean, as opposed to in North America, I mean, certainly there's people that love to collect. Guitars are very, very, of course, very popular in North America, electric guitars. Going back, matter of fact, it's Les Paul's birthday today, actually. I guess he's 90-some-odd years.
Nice.
All right. I think we should attempt our first live jam. What do you say?
I would love to, but I have to say I saw a lot of fiddlers in Canada, so there are many violinists. Absolutely,
and probably some of the best ones you'll find, of course, in Eastern Canada, and there are some groups and performers from Eastern Canada. They're just absolutely phenomenal, playing the small cello called a violin.
Right, you're very right.
So we're going to attempt this live live approach to things, and
Joe in the chat room says he wouldn't mind hearing more of 2017.
Hearing more of that?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could ask. We could. I don't know. We want to do that?
I love the.
Do you want to play that last piece a little bit, or do you have your loops ready?
I know the loops. I would have to organize before.
Okay, no problem.
We are acoustic now.
All right. I know. I'll tell you what. I'll play the acoustic version of your loop. And you just play what you were playing, and now people can see what that sounds like when two guys get together on Skype. So I'll just... All right.
Man, I love the idea that I jammed with a guy sitting 9,000 kilometers away, and now it's possible with these new techniques to meet musicians like that. That's awesome. It's my first time I did this kind of jam.
First time I've ever done it, too, and it's exciting that it's on Fuse Logic TV. We are watching Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff and Umbra in performance. They are known as Cellolitis. I met them at the Edmonton Fringe in 2010. I can't wait to see him again in 2011. We're going to take a break now, and tell me about Himmelblau, Blue Sky. This is a very wonderful piece as well, and this is one where we actually get to hear you sing. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that piece?
Yeah, the lyrics, there's a nice story behind that, because to that time I had a girlfriend, and it's about, first it's about that many cruel things come with a nice color or come with a nice sentence, or, yeah. And so I had this girlfriend, and I wrote lyrics about that this girlfriend is my girlfriend is betraying me, but she didn't. So but I wrote these lyrics kind of intuitively, and to that time I was the betrayer in the relationship. So I went one day to her with the lyrics and told her, yeah, it's a little funny that I wrote that you are betraying, and sorry, and I don't know, but I like the lyrics and I would love to keep it like that. And then she said, oh, no, I have to tell you something. And, yeah, my intuition by writing down lyrics was kind of real to that time.
The truth revealed through art. Ouch. That's got to hurt. That's got
right.
Yeah, and you also do poetry as well. I mean, it's an interesting blend of the many things that you do. I love the quality of your singing. So here's a chance to see another dimension of Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff and Cellolitis. This is Himmelblau.
Ich finde das schade, weil ich sowas nicht mag. Leicht wie eine Feder schwirr ich umher. Ich leuchte im Dunkeln, ich fürcht mich nicht mehr. Und jetzt liege ich im Gras mit den Augen nach oben. Ich denke an dich und ich fühl mich belogen. Himmelblau. Himmelblau. Eigentlich liebe ich das Leben, ich liebe den Tag. Ich will dir alles geben, weil ich dich so mag. Und jetzt liege ich im Gras mit den Augen nach oben. Ich vergesse dich langsam mit dem Kopf voller Drogen. Himmelblau, Himmelblau. Himmelblau wie der Tag, an dem ich dich traf. Himmelblau wie deine Augen, die mich anschauen. Himmelblau ist meine Liebe zu dir. Himmelblau. Himmelblau. Anstatt zu genießen, halte ich mich klein. Und irgendwelche Stimmen, die schreien auf mich ein. Und jetzt liege ich im Gras mit den Augen nach oben. Ich denk ans System und ich fühle mich belogen. Himmelblau wie die Farbe von kaltem Stahl. Himmelblau wie Deutschlands neue Polizei. Himmelblau wie der Untergrund, auf dem die Friedentaube fliegt. Himmelblau wie der Himmel über Bagdad-Stadt. Himmelblau! Himmelblau, 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 Himmelblau.
Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff and Cellolitis with Umbra. I got to ask you, that wasn't Umbra in the pool, was it?
No, right. It was a dummy. I have it here in the corner. I can get it if you want me to bring it. It's just a dummy which has to look like a cello.
Oh, all right. Because that's quite the sequence. How long did it take you to make that piece?
You mean the video?
Yeah.
I think it was about 6 days.
Yeah, And
I was also
sorry,
diving.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was diving. I was the jump from the high thing, and then the diving session was very hard. It was 6 meters underwater in a test box for divers where they learn to repair things underwater. So that was and they didn't have money to heat the water, so it was 16 degrees. I don't know if you can work with
that would be
degrees.
pretty cool.
Very cool, yeah. So interesting experience, man.
So let's talk a little bit about your tour. A matter of fact, I'll go to your website and we can take a look. Where are you going to be in the next few months?
I have two gigs in June in Berlin, which I appreciated. One is in Sanssouci, which my first appearance in the castle of Sanssouci, where our Kaiser was big in the last century or the century before that even. And then I go to a huge festival on the 1st of July, the Fusion Festival, which is, I think, one of the biggest in Germany and, yeah, for sure one of the coolest, where I'm very happy that my booking lady, Elisabeth Wirth, made that clear that I can play there, yeah.
So you must be pretty busy, certainly in and around Berlin and through Europe, I would imagine. Where are you sort of, where do you have a good, strong fan base? I mean, in terms of places in Europe.
Places in Europe, I think I have fan bases more in smaller towns. So when I tell you the towns, you will not hear them. The big cities are hard to get, like So it's more in Germany. I would say I have this fan base, and there are like small towns around.
Oh, looks like we got some questions from the chat room. Evan, what do we got?
Joe would like to know if you are on iTunes.
Yeah, I am. And also it's 2 singles. I have a blasphemic version of Ave Maria you can find there. It's very funny. If you hear it once and then you go to a wedding or to a funeral where they play Ave Maria, you cannot handle the situation. And 2 friends of mine have been to a funeral of their grandfather, and they had my Ave Maria in mind, and they started singing Ave Maria, and my friends were like, yeah.
That's a great contribution to society and civilization, Nikolaus. That's going to
classical music.
But it's classical music. It's amazing what you do with the various pieces. Now, how do you go about deciding what you're going to do in terms of the selection of pieces?
It's intuitively. I could have a economic vision on that, but I don't do it. It's I just choose what comes. I choose what I want. I don't build for something. I build for myself.
Is there anything that you're working on now, especially as it relates to classicals? You're working on anything right now?
Not with classical song. I'm working on a new song called the Sunday Song, and I want to premiere that on the Fusion Festival, where also a drummer is featuring my music right now. I have a rehearsal room in June, and I built up the music also 2017. Things like that I built up with drums, and also electronic music I started in February. So also I feature myself now with electronics.
So anybody who wants to pick up any current releases that you have, obviously they can go to iTunes, and they should, I guess, just type in Cellolitis is probably the easiest way to get there. And I believe you can also go to the website cellolitis.de, and that's CELLO, like in cello, LITIS. How did you arrive at that name?
Because my family name, which you pronounced very, very good, Michael,
Thank you.
Is a hell also for Germans. So every reporter from the press mixed it up, and every venue owner just told, there was this Ingo at the cello or something like that. So one day I said to myself, let's take my Yahoo address, which was Cellolitis@yahoo.de. And so I took that as a name, because everyone reminded the email address, but nobody reminded my name.
Well, now I've just learned something how to pronounce a suffix like dot. You see, we say .ca as opposed to .ca, and you say .de. That's kind of neat. So Cellolitis.de.
.de. No, we say .de. We say .de. It's two, but
.de.
.de. Yeah, right.
That's just DE in German.
I'm learning a lot now. This is
perfect.
I like this. Hey, we've got a new video that we just managed to download in time for the show, which I'd like to debut on Kryton Live here on Fuse Logic TV. Through the Dimensions. Tell me the story about that one.
Oh, the song is I'm working also on a hip hop project with a great Edmonton guy called Kevin Gillies. He's from Rapid Fire Theatre. He's the man who brought me to Canada. Let's say like that. And he's a great buddy of mine, and he's writing awesome hip hop lyrics. And on this piece, which you see now, he already has a speech where he's talking about the end of the world and how we should face it. And I like the music itself very, very much, and it's also it's a deep feeling. I like the mood I have when I play this song.
Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to seeing for the first time while being seen on the internet live on Kryton Live on Fuse Logic TV. This is Cellolitis and Through the Dimensions. Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff, Cellolitis, and a new release called Through the Dimensions. I am absolutely amazed at the many ways that you manipulate Umbra. I'm sure she enjoys it, and I now pronounce you man and cello. But it's amazing how much you've experimented. I remember I used to open up the top of my upright piano at home when I was a kid and bang on it and put the microphone down there and experiment with everything there is. And I think that it's probably natural for those of us who like to explore our own dimension is to then begin to explore the instrument itself, because you also do a piece, I believe, that's very percussive, where
Right.
you do a lot of very percussive things with Umbra, and then you loop that as well. And we won't have one on this particular show, but absolutely that's wonderful work you do as well. And so I look forward to seeing that at the Fringe. Is it going to be hard if you don't play with Umbra? Is it going to affect what you do, you think, or?
Honestly, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of answers that question. That's a succinct thing. Hey, you know what? I think we should do one more piece together, because
Nice.
we're gonna end off the program ultimately with the Canon in D, because Pachelbel's Canon in D, a very, very well-known piece for even those of you who are not as familiar with classical music, and you do a wonderful job of it. But I think I asked you earlier if you like to play blues.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's do some.
Yeah, I think we should do a couple of minutes of blues, and maybe I'll make up some lyrics that we'll dedicate to Fuse Logic TV and the team, Walter Schwabe, Maria Politti, and Evan Adams, who have helped us out on the show. Evan, thank you for coming through on some of the technical challenges. Our thanks to Skype, for hanging in there with us. Anyway, this is, okay, so we're going to call this, well, if it's not Himmelblau,
Michael?
Internet Blau.
Michael?
Yeah.
Michael, just one thing. I have to say one thing. I want to thank Rapid Fire Theater from Edmonton. They were the guys who had this courage to bring someone from far away and to build me up there. And so I'm really thankful for all my international things to Rapid Fire Theater, especially Kevin Gillies and Arlen Konopaki and Karen Brown Farrell and Amy Shostak for sure. And I forgot about all the bunch of Rapid Fire Theater, which I really love. Very good comedy improv, and that I wanted to say at the end. Sorry, man.
No, you don't apologize. Matter of fact, I've had a chance to meet the folks at one point in the past from Rapid Fire Theater, and I'll certainly be looking to have them on my show in the future, and I'm going to be also covering the Fringe this year as well, so we'll have a chance
Nice.
to have a bit of a reunion. So
We should meet there.
I think we will, absolutely. I mean, we're gonna have a few. What do you call brewskis in German?
Oh, brewskis?
Yeah, beers.
Ah,
Yeah.
Beer.
you mean
Bierskis.
here?
We're going to have some bierskis. That's what we have, the bierskis. We'll call them the bierskis.
I think beer is beer.
I understood beer, man.
Yeah, it's a universal language. We'll call this Internet Blau. Two guys on the internet playing live by Skype. It don't matter at all what's wrong or right. Two guys on the internet side by side, taking the world for a musical ride. As good as I get.
Yeah, man.
ready? There, for all you blues fans, that was Internet Blau, the sequel to Himmelblau, soon to be the Fringe Blau, and then the Beer Blau. We're gonna have to write a song called the Beer Blau when you.
I like the beer blau. We say you are blue. We say we are blue when we are drunk.
Is that right?
Right.
Beer Blau, man, we got a thing going on. International release coming up. Well, Nikolaus, there will never be enough time, and I look forward to seeing you live when you get over to Canada. And for all you people in the chat room, we want to thank we had quite a number of people joining us in the chat room today, and hope you got your fill. Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff, Cellolitis. You can look for Cellolitis on iTunes. You can look for it at cellolitis.de. And that's his website to get a heads up on all of the concerts and festivals that he will be performing at. And certainly this summer he will be coming to Canada and gladly to Edmonton. And you have to absolutely see this man perform live. I want to thank you for, all right.
You talk.
Oh, this is a drum solo. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thanks to Umbra. Take good care of that lady. She's obviously taking good care of you. You've been watching Nikolaus Herdieckerhoff on Kryton Live here on Fuse Logic TV, and we're going to end the show with a real classic piece of yours, the Pachelbel's Canon in D. This is Cellolitis. Thanks, Nikolaus, for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.